Remember those baby swallows in the nest on our porch? Well, time's moved on and they have fledged now and are getting fit for their long journey to Africa in September. And remember that patch I mulched with stable manure with the help of Flora the horse? Well, it's been so damp here, the weeds are growing back. So I revert to a method I usually do not like very much, plastic, to stop the weeds. Because this also stops the microclimate in the soil from developing, so I try to avoid it usually. But soon the plastic will come off again, and I will dig the bed and plant it with garlic over the winter.
They all disappeared before.
Talking about garlic, the ordinary garlic I harvested last month has dried now, and is ready to be plaited into braids. I hang it up in a corner in our kitchen, where it will last till next spring. Unless we eat it all before, that is. In the garden, the asparagus kale is thriving in the damp weather. And so are the chard and beetroot and spinach. It took them a long time to settle because it was so dry when I planted them out. But they are getting there. And the cabbages too. The onions and elephant garlic are ready to come out. Ideally, I'd harvest them in dry weather to bring the bulbs in when they are not damp and when the earth falls off them easily. But it's been raining a lot here lately, and I don't want to chance the bulbs starting to rot. So out they come. First the elephant garlic. Together with Tim's garlic, there will be plenty this year for cooking and replanting. Then I pull out the onions. They go into the tomato shed to dry. I decide to dig the bed, mainly because of a very invasive plant that has spread in the garden. It's called woundwort. The roots are everywhere in the soil, and by picking them out by hand, I try to reduce the amount of weeds a bit. It's a pretty plant which can also be used as medicine, and the bumblebees love it. But if I didn't keep it at bay, it would cover the entire garden, leaving no space for anything else to grow. I am not sure what I will plant into this bed and when, so I decide to mulch it. As an experiment, I mulch one part with straw pellets. This works out quite expensive, at just over €4 a bag, and to cover this area I need 6 bags. Plus, there is a lot of plastic to dispose of. I try straw on the other part. This works out at €2 for the one bale. And it gives me a nice opportunity for a little rest too. This time of year, as courgette growers know, it is risky to turn your back to the courgette plants because see what can happen in a matter of days. Monster courgette. Meanwhile, far, far away in the polytunnel, waits another tasty distraction from the outside gardening jobs.
really good actually. Very, very good.
Our very own grapes. I love it when the rudbeckia starts to flower. The evening primrose is still going strong. The bees love the cup-like flowers, dry and accessible even when it rains. The broad beans are coming to the end of their lifespan. I harvest the last ones by pulling out the whole plant and cutting the beans off. The climbing beans have done an excellent job of climbing towards the sky. So far, many kilos have gone into the freezer already, with more to come. The bush beans fell victim to the resident rabbit in the garden. He or she seemingly likes raw beans. When this starts happening to the apples, it means they are ripening and attracting the birds. So, time to make a start with our apple harvest. These are early Bramleys, excellent for baking. Loads more on the way. Remember that hydrangea bush that looked like it was dead most of spring and summer? Well, it finally comes into bloom now. And what a pretty hydrangea it is.